welcome back to this Rags to Riches playthrough of GTA Online. This is day 2 of the series, and we have a lot of work to do to get ourselves from rags to riches. If you missed day 1, I'll leave a card and a link in the description box below. With that being said, I set out a few goals for our character, one of them being to make progress on the acid lab we worked so hard to get in the last episode, and of course to finish off the crate warehouse so we can make some money. So for us to get that acid lab up and running, we went ahead and started with a Dax mission. I went ahead and called Dax, completed one of his missions. I ended up completing a lot of these throughout the series, so I'm gonna brush over them rather quickly. So I ended up getting the heavy metal mission. This one's actually fairly difficult. I ended up dying a lot, and I mean a lot. I forgot how hard it is to do these missions and a lot of the missions in the game as a new character when your character is not maxed out and you don't have the best armor and weapons. It is very difficult, guys, so don't get frustrated if you guys are starting over. This is completely normal. I've been playing this game a very long time, and I actually struggled, so it's kind of fun. I ended up dying a lot and completing this mission at the end, getting the rival boss and taking the truck back to where I needed to go, and ended up earning myself $50,000 and of course progression towards that acid lab upgrade. Now with the Dax mission on cooldown, I went ahead and completed a few little side things in the game. Now G's Cache is a new thing they added to the game. I figured I'd try it out on this character. I went ahead and found G's Cache, and pretty much it's an area on the map, and eventually you have to find like this little crate thing. Your controller will vibrate as you get closer to the area, and you end up getting a little bit of money and supplies. I ended up getting $15,000 and some supplies, which included ammo and some snacks. And then I went ahead and did another new thing, which is the stash house. So the stash house was kind of interesting. I went over there and it's pretty simple. You go in, break into the building. There's a code on the wall. It's on a sticky note. So if you find the sticky note with the code, you go ahead and go to the safe, open it up with the code you have there, and then you just need to escape the enemies. So once you escape the enemies, you guys are going to earn yourself $31,000, which overall was pretty nice to start me off for the day. Something new, something different, so I'm not just sitting here grinding back to back. After that, I went ahead and grabbed a helicopter and headed on over to the M on the map, trying to get these bounties. So she went ahead and sent me a text. And I know in the last episode I completed one of these bounties, and unfortunately it did reset me to the first bounty. So if you're gonna do these bounties with me, do them all at once. Don't make the mistake I did and only complete one of them. So for bounty number 1, I went all the way over to the area. I finally found this guy in the most random spot. I actually found him in the middle of a church area, so I get him out of the church area, and once he exits the church, I take him out because I didn't want to kill him in the church. It just didn't feel right. So I killed him on the street instead and earned myself $5,000. So that is my first bounty of 5 that I completed in this series. After I completed the first bounty, I headed on over to my CEO office and I sourced a crate. Now this crate mission was very difficult because I didn't have the homing launcher, because the homing launcher I had would not lock onto this Valkyrie. I think I was just too far away and it would not lock on, so I follow it and I ended up having to shoot it with my heavy sniper. I'm very grateful I had the heavy sniper on me, because if I didn't have the heavy sniper, I definitely wouldn't have been able to complete this mission. So after shooting the Valkyrie several times, it crashed with all 3 thieves, took out the thieves, and then I went ahead and brought the 3 crates back one by one by myself using the helicopter I stole from the helipad. At this point, I ask my staff member to go ahead and grab a crate for me, and she goes ahead and does that for me. And after that, the cooldown is actually done for Dax's mission, so I called Dax up and he gives me the working remotely crate sourcing mission. Then he gave me the working remotely Dax mission, so not bad at all. I went ahead and got my post van, and I ended up getting paid $25,000 instead of the regular $50,000 because I kind of botched the mission. If you want to get paid the full amount, you have to use the detonation method to take out the targets. Unfortunately, I had to take them out one by one, and then I got my $25,000, but that's okay because I still got my progression towards the acid lab upgrade. At this point, I was kind of like wondering what I wanted to do next, and I decided I just want to focus on completing these bounties because I knew I was going to take a break at some point throughout the day, and I didn't want it to reset on me for some weird reason. So I went ahead and went back over and waited for the next bounty, and I completed that bounty very easily, taking that target out. And I complete all of the bounties one after another, taking them out instead of bringing them back as she suggests, because it just takes too much time and effort for the $5,000 at this this point in the game. So after I take out the last 4 targets, I earned myself 20k, which is really nice. And then I grabbed the stone hatchet, which she hits you up with a message saying, hey, there's a chest over here with this stone hatchet in it if you'd like it. And you go ahead and grab that nice melee weapon, and then you'll be able to complete its challenge. And the challenge is to get 25 kills with the stone hatchet. So that worked out for the best. So I went ahead and parked my acid lab after requesting it on the highway and just continually pulled people out of their cars, creating a traffic jam. This made this very easy considering, and I just went ahead and kept pulling people out of cars, hatcheting them until I was finished. So I got the 25 kills and I was rewarded $250,000 for doing this. So not bad at all. That additional $250,000 was really nice. If you'd like more information on how to get the stone hatchet and everything, I have an in-depth guide on the stone hatchet challenge and how to get the $250,000. I'll leave a card as well as a link in the description box below if you guys are interested in more details about this. So by this time, Lupe was done sourcing me crates, so I headed on over to my warehouse again and asked her to go ahead and source more crates for that $7,500, which is definitely worth my money. And then after that, I called up Dax because almost 48 minutes had passed. I had to wait a little bit of time, and then I was able to request that work, and he gave me the working remotely rival operation mission again. So simply went ahead as usual, got the postal van, parked it, used the remote detonation successfully, and earned myself $50,000. Then I took a second to check my player stats. I completely kind of forgot about player stats, so I wanted to see how I was progressing on those naturally without actually like boosting or grinding them. So I ended up maxing my driving already, and I think I attribute that to the Hayakucho drag as well as completing those time trials. They probably helped me out quite a bit. So definitely worth getting the Hayakucho drag just for that alone. It was nice to get my driving maxed out as a level 18. Definitely in the future I need to level up my shooting, my strength, and my stamina at some point, and I'll probably go ahead and find a method to do that at some point in this series. So eventually I head on over to my CEO office to source another 3 crates, and I got the Mirror Park mission, and this is from Lupe, and I was like, nah, I'm not trying to do this. I ended up quitting out because I just do not want to do this mission. If you guys want to go ahead and do it, by all means, I recommend you just quit out and take the $18,000 hit. I honestly really hate doing that mission, so I quit out, found a new session, and then I joined a heist through the quick join option. So went on my phone, went to the little blue icon on my phone, and eventually found a heist. And this guy was pretty cool. He was doing the Felicia job, a low level, low paying heist, but honestly, as a beginner, I was kind of like, I kind of feel like this is the right thing to do. It definitely was not worth it, but I did play it from beginning to end like a new player would, and it was kind of worth the nostalgia of playing the OG heist as a new player. It just felt right. So ended up getting paid $5,000 measly dollars for the setup, and then another $5,000 for the second setup. And then this was a random guy. So shout out to this random guy, SwellJam89799458, for giving me 70% for no reason. I never used my mic or messaged him or anything like that. He just blessed me up. So very generous of him to give me 70% of the cut. I guess he seen I was a low level and said, you know what, I'm gonna help this guy out. He's helping me out. And honestly, it kind of warmed my heart that there's still nice, generous people out there that were just willing to give me a higher percentage of the cut. So really nice. I got 70% and ended up earning $240,000. So kind of made it worth my time. Like, it wasn't worth it probably. I probably could have made a lot more money doing something else. But between the nostalgia and then the high payout and generosity of this guy, it's kind of nice. Definitely will do that probably in future Rags to Riches playthroughs. After I had completed all of these, the 48 minutes for Dax's cooldown is definitely gone. I spent about an hour doing that. So I ended up getting the working remotely once again. Very straightforward mission. All I have to do is go to get the postal van. Very repetitive, but at the end of it, I ended up getting myself another $50,000 because I got the hang of completing these missions, and again, that progression through the acid lab. So this is one of the important things we do have to be doing, is these Dax missions. And after I completed this Dax mission, I was kind of worn out because I had just done a heist, crate missions, and a whole bunch of things, and a Dax mission, a whole bunch of stuff. I finished off the bounties. I had to take a break, so I went and took a break. I probably went and played with friends on a different game, or I went and chilled in the living room or something like that.
Stop the cap.
And then I came back probably around an hour or two later after I was with a fresh mind, and I hopped on, and the first thing I did was boot up another Dax mission. And the reason why I'm prioritizing Dax missions is that cooldown. That 48-minute cooldown really kills the progression towards the acid lab. So every time I take a break or have the opportunity to, I go ahead and complete another Dax mission. I end up completing this Dax mission properly again, earning myself the $50,000. And after I can get the $50,000, I finally head on over to my CEO office and I source crates. Now I got the boat mission. It says go to sea. Now I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty easy mission if you have a Mark II oppressor or buzzard. I've done this mission hundreds of times and it's a really easy mission. But when you're a beginner and have a low health bar, don't have good armor, and don't have a Mark II oppressor or anything like that, this mission's actually very, very difficult. So I ended up dying a lot during this mission, so much so that I only got 2 or 3 crates because I ran out of time. Now if I had focused up a little bit more, I probably could have got all 3 crates, but it just goes to show you, even as a player that knows what they're doing, it can be difficult if you don't have the tools and resources available to you to complete the game. And this was kind of like a wake-up call to me for all the new players that are struggling out there that don't have the Mark II oppressors and the buzzards and all that, how difficult it is for them to grind crates and things like that. But I end up managing it, getting the 2 crates, and then I move on with my day. And the way I move on with my day is by proceeding to waste an hour of my day trying to join a random heist. I got kicked a lot, and I think it's because of my level. They seen my low level, or I just wasn't welcome, which is completely fine. But I got kicked a lot, and I understand that as a low level you're gonna get kicked, but they could have, you know, assumed that I was a second account, but they didn't. They just assumed I was a noob, which is fine. And then I did get in a few of the heists, but the host would either quit because something went wrong too many times, which is understandable. I've done that myself, or they had absolutely no idea what they were doing, so I had to quit. Nothing is worse when you're the 18 and there's like a level 240 and he's throwing the heist over and over again. So I ended up quitting out and I got frustrated and took another break. I wasted an hour of my day and ended up taking a break because I just could no longer bear trying to get into a heist. So once I loaded back in, I probably only took like a 15-minute break, like a little coffee break or something like that. I took like about a 15-minute coffee break just to clear my head because I was very frustrated trying to get those heists done. I came back and sourced another 3 crates. Now it was really nice that I came back after this little break and all 3 crates were in this vehicle, this little RV, and I got to get all 3 of them very peacefully, very easily. And then I asked Lupe to go ahead and grab me another crate or 2 hopefully, and I played the 2 times money in RP event, which is the offense defense, and I enjoyed this mode. And what this did was kind of break up the grind that I've been on, trying to get crates, trying to do Dax missions. Kind of like gave me a breather from that and let me enjoy the game. I'm pretty good at this mode, it's pretty fun. You'll probably have a different mode by this time if you're trying to do the same thing, but that's fine. I ended up winning and I only got paid $14,000. Now it definitely was not worth the money, and I only got 1,800 RP, so it's definitely not worth the RP. So at the end of the day, it was a waste of time if you're looking at money, but I'm not really just looking at money. I'm trying to enjoy myself while I'm making the money, so no regrets. Definitely enjoyed the mode and enjoyed making that little bit of money. And again, like an idiot, I tried to join another heist, but this time it was a setup and my teammate was a true beginner, which really was unfortunate because my teammate kept dying over and over and over again. Like I stayed here for a while trying to help this guy so he could get this Avenger setup done, hoping that he'd carry me through, and I had to leave again because he died like 12 times and I was like, yeah, that's enough attempts to help him. So it wasn't worth my time. I wasted my time. I wasted quite a bit of time trying to do this. By the time I left the Avenger setup and loaded back in, I could then go ahead and source crates. And at this point, I was so frustrated again from trying to help people complete setups and stuff like that. I just focused on me and my crates. So I went ahead and sourced crates again, all in one vehicle. So that kind of bumped up my mood. And then I waited for the cooldown and sourced another 3 crates. And it was all in one vehicle again, back to back. So I really got blessed up. And then I went to go source another set of crates, but Lupe brought me 3 crates and this topped me off so I could go sell my crate warehouse. My crate warehouse was officially full and I am able to go ahead and sell the crates. So I attempt to go find a public lobby for me to sell in. So I'm looking for one that's safe, that doesn't have any, people griefing anyone. It doesn't have people killing each other, just a peaceful lobby. And I'm just going to sell in a public lobby so I have the opportunity to get that high demand bonus of 50% max. So if I get a full lobby and sell, I'll end up getting 1.1 million instead of that around $700,000. So that's a huge difference, almost a $400,000 difference right there. And as a beginner, $400,000 is a lot, but it is a huge risk to sell in a public lobby. So after attempting to find a lobby, I found one after 6 or so attempts, and I was impatient, I'm not gonna lie, and I should have looked more for more lobbies because this lobby was actually pretty hostile. It had 2 jets and 2 Mark II oppressors. I do not know why I thought this was a good idea. I think I just got impatient. Don't get impatient if you do decide to sell in a public lobby because it will cost you a lot of money. I ended up getting 3 brigades. This is one of the worst things that could have happened, but that's okay. I ended up getting 3 brigades and they were so far away. I had to travel 5 something kilometers, which really sucked for me. So back and forth I went, and I had to do this all by myself. I didn't have anyone protecting me. I didn't have anyone helping me deliver. So I used the ghost organization option for my CEO, and if I was going to get griefed, I was just going to quit right away, hoping that I salvaged some of my crates. But I ended up managing not to get griefed. I don't know if these people just didn't notice me, they were too busy with each other, or I just got really nice people that were like, no, I'm not gonna blow this guy's crates up, I've been there. But I didn't get griefed, and I ended up managing to sell all 3 brigades in a hostile lobby for $1.1 million. If I could go back, to be honest with you guys, I probably would have sold in an invite only lobby. I put way too much effort into filling the crate warehouse, and at this level I really needed all of the money, so I should have been more wise, but it worked out taking the risk in the end. But if I were to do it again, I definitely would not have taken that risk. At this point I have $2.5 million in my bank account, and you guys know what that means. I headed on over to the music locker beside the casino where I get put into a cutscene. This allowed me to buy the Kosatka for $2.2 million with no bells and whistles, so I went ahead and spent that $2.2 million. And for some reason I noticed when I went to request a CEO vehicle, the buzzard was free. Now I don't understand why it was free, so if anyone in the comments can tell me why it was free for me. I did not buy the buzzard, and after I left the session and joined back, it was no longer free. So if you guys know a way to make the buzzard free, please let me know in the comment section below. That is a huge information that I'm missing. I looked it up on Google, I couldn't figure it out, so if you guys know, please let me know. So between selling my crates and buying the Kosatka after going through the cutscene, I ended up having the Dax cooldown off, so I was able to go complete another Dax mission, earning myself $50,000. And then I did, believe it or not, took another break because I was just fatigued. I sold those crates, that was stressful. Then I had to go through that cutscene, I spent a lot of money, and then I was like, all right, I need a break. So I took a break, came back, and did another Dax mission, earning myself that $50,000. And then it was time to set up the Kosatka, and that included a few little things. So the first thing I had to do is go through that long cutscene with Pavel, which Pavel's a homie, so no big deal. But then after the cutscene, I had to gather the intel. So he sends me to the island, and then I started to gather intel. So I'll tell you guys what I scouted real quick. I scouted the Majazo files. Anything that they made me scout, I obviously scouted. So Majazo files, I got the golden paintings, I got North Docks, I got the warehouses at the North Docks, and I did do the drainage tunnel. That was me on my own. I went ahead and got that one, and then as well as I went and scouted the hangar at the airport area there. There's some cash in there for me, and then the control tower as they made me do that. So that concluded me setting up the Kosatka. I then went and flew back home to Los Santos and started up the Dax mission. Now this Dax mission was special. So I got the crop duster Dax mission, and it paid me $50,000 after I completed, but I got a notification saying I unlocked the acid lab upgrades. We did it. We finally have the acid lab upgrade unlocked, so we can go ahead and proceed with getting the upgrade for the acid lab. So as soon as I had got that notification, I went to my freak shop and upgraded the acid lab, costing me $250,000, which is a hefty price, but in the long run I'm sure it's going to pay off throughout this series. I also got myself some paint, made my acid lab a little pretty, because you know what, I was feeling good about my progression today. I did sell the crates and I did upgrade the acid lab, so I got those 2 things checked off my list, as well as I bought myself a Kosatka and got that set up for the next day. Before I signed off, I went ahead and bought supplies for Mutt, so that can accrue while I do certain things in the future. So that kind of wraps up my second day in the Rags to Riches series. So we are well on our way to becoming riches. I swear guys, I know it doesn't look like it, our bank account's a little small, but we have done so much. And today alone we got the upgrade for the acid lab, we got the crates, we sold that, we got ourselves a new business, the Kosatka, and we got some money in the bank account still. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this Rags to Riches series on GTA 5 Online. If you guys enjoy it, please don't forget to drop a like on this video and share it with your friends if you think they'd enjoy it. I hope to see you guys in episode 3, where we will probably proceed with the Kosatka and probably buy another business to add to our empire so we can go from rags to riches.